After watching this video, you will understand exactly why women cheat. You will be able to detect the early signs of a woman that's likely to cheat on you, which will allow you to choose the right women to date in the future and also prevent you from getting cheated on ever again. So without wasting any time, let's get into it, guys, and let's break it down. So I'm going to jump on my screen here. So why do women cheat? Well, let's establish the reasons why you should understand these things and why you should understand this concept. Well, first of all, please ignore that picture on the right. That's literally me in my Playboy years when I was going out and dating about 50 different girls at the same time with a hot, stunning blonde by my feet. This is quite a funny picture. There's other girls around half naked, but you can't see that in the picture. But anyways, why should you guys know about the reasons why women cheat? Well, first of all, it's going to avoid you getting cheated on. Okay, so when you understand these things, you'll be able to pick on these behaviors that some women who are very likely to cheat will essentially show. So when you date, when you navigate the dating scene, at least you will be able to look for these behaviors and you'll be able to pick on these things. Okay, so you need to know this stuff because it's going to help you avoid getting into bad relationships, dating the wrong girls, and risk financial destruction, mental destruction. Like, these things can be can have a huge impact on your life. So you have to know these things. Women are a big part of men's lives, and you have to understand, you have to master the game of women. So that's number one. And number two, how likely she is to cheat is a big indicator of how you will treat a girl, or at least how you will navigate that relationship, right? So you need to know these things. It's just crucial. I think it comes without saying. So reasons why women cheat. To be honest with you, there is only two reasons, and then within those two reasons, there is many different ways that they can happen, many different ways that cheating can happen. But there's only two reasons why. Psychological reasons, really, that some women are more prone to cheat over as opposed to other women. And the first one is low self-esteem. A low self-esteem girl, LSE, which stands for low self-esteem, is essentially a woman that seeks validation through external things, right? Mainly people, stems from upbringing, trauma. If her father wasn't around, typically the father, if the father wasn't around for a period of time as a child, there is, daddy issues and things like that. It's very rarely the woman, it's very rarely the mother, because it has a different impact on the psyche, it has a different impact on the upbringing of a person. But when it comes to relationship for women, the role of the father has a big impact on her relationship with men in the future, and also the way that her family treats her. But we'll talk about this in more detail. So a low self-esteem girl is extremely likely to cheat on you, or on her husband, on her boyfriend, and that's because they crave that validation that they never got when they were children, when they were kids, especially from the father figure. So any male attention that she can get, any sort of attention from the opposite sex, is something that is heavily welcome, and they just kind of crave it. So there is an easy way that you can essentially identify someone who is low self-esteem, right? You can see certain behaviors that will give that away. You'll be able to identify and kind of essentially categorize that that's a person who has low self-esteem, or at least a woman that has low self-esteem. So there is a few behaviors that I've put here for you guys that you can watch out for. So first of all, examples of LSE behaviors. The first one is, I think it's quite obvious, posting thirst traps on the internet. Okay, I don't think that any girl that has high self-esteem, who is self-respecting, who doesn't need the validation of other people or the internet, is posting thirst traps or pictures of herself half naked. They will try to disguise it as, virtue, as in, they will try to say, oh, I'm just expressing myself. I do this because it makes me feel better, blah, blah, blah. The whole kind of usual things that we hear about justifying being a thirst trap girl kind of thing. And it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. You know, if a girl is posting thirst traps on the internet, it's because she's getting that validation. She's getting that hit, that dopamine hit from getting that validation, the likes, the comments, the followers. It's quite addictive. Even for guys, by the way, like some guys do it because they just get that validation from, you know, the internet. And that's a trait, a character trait you want to try to avoid as much as possible, okay? The other example of LSE behavior is flirting with strangers or being overly chatty or warm. If a girl is super chatty with the waiter or staff members or the cashier at the till or just any person, especially from the opposite sex, and they're super warm, super receptive, they're essentially entertaining strangers' interactions for no absolute reason, and sometimes they do it over the top. You know, for example, I was with a girl at some point, and just out and about, and you know, there's people that try and come and talk to you and sell you things or ask you for money and stuff like that. And she will always engage with those people. She will always fully like give them her full attention and fully engage in a conversation. And that was a big red flag because, you know, take for example Eastern European women or like Russian women or Ukrainian women. It's very hard for her to stop in the street or engage with a homeless person or engage with a salesperson in the street because they see as their time and their attention as sacred and valuable, and they only give that to men who are deserving of it, right? So they have some level of self-esteem. They're not going to give it away to anyone and everyone. So the girls that just interact with people on an endless basis and are overly chatty, overly warm, it's filling a void, right? It's filling a void. And to be honest with you, it kind of depreciates their attention, the value of their attention. If somebody is giving their attention for free to everyone and anyone, well, that attention doesn't hold any more value because anyone can have it, right? But if you have a girl who is quite not dismissive in a rude way, but she's politely not engaging in meaningless interactions or meaningless conversations with nobodies and with people who are sometimes quite obviously trying to hit on her or flirt with her, that's a high self-esteem girl, and that's what you're looking for. Another example, which kind of ties in into the previous point that we've made, is entertaining attention from men consistently. So if you're talking to a girl and she consistently says, hey, you know, this guy texted me the other day and he was saying this thing, this, you know, hilarious things, this ridiculous stuff. I can't believe he said that. Or some guy sent me some money, or some guy did this and did that to me. She's constantly talking. And look, girls will do this without even knowing it, right? They will just do this because it's autopilot inside them. It makes them feel better, right? They don't actively go about being like this. It's just how they've been programmed and raised, unfortunately, and it's harder. Matter of fact, you should never try to fix them, okay? Don't have fixer syndrome. Just take it as information and deal with that accordingly. You can't take those relationships too seriously because they will just ruin your life, okay? You just have to take the data for what it is and just take that girl for who she is and not something else that you've made up in your mind. Because a lot of guys will just like look at girls and be like, yeah, she's got all these flaws, but she's hot, so it's gonna be fine. Dude, it's not. She's gonna ruin your life. So entertaining attention from other men, even if it's just like for fun, right? It's a red flag. You don't want any of that, okay? So again, you can have fun with these girls. You can have fun with these girls. You can enjoy your life, sleep with them, go out, do whatever, but just don't think that they're going to be good mothers or good parents or good girlfriends or long-term keepers. It's just not going to happen. And it's sad to say that, but it's the hard facts, the hard truth, and that's how the world works. This is based on experience, and first-hand experience, second-hand experience. That's just how it is. You can ask around. You will see the pattern. And the last example here is if she is consistently testing your loyalty by making you jealous. If she's bringing up guys, exes, or she's going out there and hanging out with guys and explicitly showing that to you to try and get a reaction from you, then big red flag, big red flag. Girls will test you to some extent, but they will never test you in a overly toxic way, okay? If they start doing toxic stuff, just to test you or just to get a reaction, run away, bro. Just fucking run, or just don't keep that chick around for too long. The second reason why women cheat is something you might not have expected, but it's emotional disconnection. If a girl is in a relationship, um, and she loses respect for the guy, or she's just heavily unfulfilled in the relationship, for example, the sex is shit, or you smell bad all the time, or you're just not good, you're just not a good boyfriend, you're just not a guy who's on his shit, right? You have to be good in bed, you have to look, smell good and keep yourself in shape, you have to be on top of your game, right? No girl wants to be with a loser, let's be honest. Would you be with a girl that doesn't take care of herself? Of course not. So why do you expect the same? So girls can start to feel unfulfilled in relationships when you start to let yourself go, okay? And that is the same thing with losing respect for a man, right? I have had a lot of people a lot of girls actually, who have left their husbands, have left their boyfriends, have left relationships where they have kids because they've lost respect for the man, because the man stopped chasing a higher purpose. He stopped having a purpose in life. He just settled. He just was like, you know what? I have the girl. I have the child. I have a kind of a job, and life is all right. So why do I need to chase more? And then you see the guy just stagnate, but the girl is still working on herself. She's still going up in the world, and all of a sudden, believe it or not, if that's not me saying it, I've seen it with my eyes. There's other people saying that. If the girl starts to do better in you in life, she's going to lose respect. You have to stay on your game. So if you let yourself go and you're not going out there every day and crushing it and showing that you're a guy who's on top of his shit, women will ultimately lose respect for you. Whether you have kids with them, whether you have 10-year marriage, this constant testing and pinging of whether you're still the shit, or whether she's still a good woman for you, goes on for life. Okay, you can never think, oh, I'm gonna get this girl and then I'm gonna settle. She's gonna leave you, bro. She's gonna leave you. I've seen girls leave a 10-year relationship. I've seen girls obviously initiate divorces with guys who have money, who are good looking. This shit means nothing. You have to stay on top of your shit. You have to stay the best option for her. Otherwise, they will lose respect. They will become unfulfilled. And over a long period of time, you will get cheated on. Over a period of time, you will get cheated on because they disconnect. Okay, their brain doesn't like. Women love with their brain. They don't love with the heart. It's very different. Guys love with the heart. You can see a woman and you can love her straight away. But women, they start to fall in love over time because it's all here. It's emotions. The moment they don't get the emotions that they should be getting from you, they just detach. They're loyal to the emotions. They're not loyal to you, right? And those emotions that you give them is by being a guy that's on top of his shit, is by all the things that encompass a guy who's on his shit. You will naturally be polarizing. You will naturally be something. You will become like the prize in her eyes. But like this guy is the shit, right? But the moment you let you let yourself go, then she has better options, right? It's just survival for them at this point, right? So they will completely disconnect from whatever it is you think you've built with them, because they just no longer feel fulfilled. They are loyal to their emotions over anything else. So now that you know the reasons why women cheat on a psychological level, what should you do? What should you do? And what can you do? Well, it's very simple. You need to test your girl. You need to test her to make sure that she fits the kind of behavior, the kind of profile of person that you want to be in a relationship with. This is the most important thing. A lot of you guys get into a relationship with girls without seeing the red flags, without seeing what they're about. You're literally just brushing it under the carpet just because she has a nice body or she gives you blowjobs. Like, you guys have to start testing these girls, okay? And it's very easy. All you do is you essentially put her in a situation where she could easily be manipulative, where she could easily kind of fuck you over, where she could easily be a bitch, where she could easily just do the things that we've spoken about in this video. And then you just see if she's passing that test or if she's essentially failing. If she's failing, well, you've kind of dodged the bullet, and take that as data and just treat it as it is, right? You don't have to take her seriously. You don't have to have a serious relationship. You can still have fun. You can still be friends. You can still have good times together. But don't look at her as the mother of your, the future mother of your kids, because you're just walking into a pit at this point. Okay, so you can put her in different situations. You can take her out with, you know, with your friends and see how she behaves. You can take her in a, you know, a venue where there is other people that will approach her. There's other men who will try to flirt with her and see how she behaves. Is she shutting down these guys, or if she is she just entertaining them, right? When she talks to you, listen to the things that she says. If she's goes out with her girls on a night out and comes back to you and say all these boys were around us and they were trying to flirt with us, and they're all telling me they all have the same pickup line, and they all come to me and say, hey, you know, X, Y, and Z, then obviously she's been entertaining some conversations with guys, and she's obviously been flirting with guys. Now, whether that's right or wrong, you make your own opinion, but you can take that as data and essentially formulate a a you know, a personality around this person that you have, because people will tell you who they are, right? People will show you who they are. They will tell you, right? If she's out there saying that she's been entertaining flirty conversations out with her friends, with her girlfriends, then that's who she is. That's what she will do when you're not around, right? Take it as what it is. Okay, so you have to test your girls, you have to test her, and that's the first thing you should be doing before engaging into any relationship. This is the most important thing in your dating life. You have to ping, you have to test women, you have to ping for, you know, tests and see how they behave. You have to throw shit at the wall and see what happens. Okay, because they will do that too. Women will keep testing you, and low self-esteem women will test you in very toxic ways, like I said, but high self-esteem girls will not. They might do it once, right, just to see how what you're made of, but they won't typically keep being toxic like this, right? They will do it once to push the envelope and see how you react, if you get all flustered and all that stuff, and then they will move on from that if you pass it. I can make another video if you want me to make a video on how you can pass shit test and how you can pass the different ways women test men. Then I can make a video about this. But you have to test girls, mate. You have to test girls, because they will test you all the time, and in very subtle ways, very, very subtle ways. So now that you know why women cheat and what are the most likely women to cheat, you hopefully can navigate your dating life going forward in a much better way. Please leave any comments or questions that you have in the comment section below. I will answer them personally. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to click on the notification bell so that you don't miss future videos. If you have any type of videos, if you have anything that you're struggling with, you want me to make a video about, please leave it in the comment down below. I will make a video for you. And that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.